In this video, we will look at the way that we use the CSV module to read in data from a file and the way that we can parse the data that the CSV reader gives us in more detail. Here we have the function design that we completed in How to Design Analysis Programs Part 2. This function design uses the CSV library to read information from a specified file. Let's look at that more closely. The first line that uses the CSV library is line 23. We write with open file name as CSV. Now, as a user of the CSV library, I do not need to understand the details of how it is working with the CSV file, but instead I need to understand its interface, or how my program can interact with it. This line tells me that we are opening the file name, where we receive that file name as an input to our read function, and we are opening it as a CSV file. The CSV module knows how to read CSV files. Then, on the next line, we create a CSV reader from the CSV file. The CSV reader is what will be able to read the file and give our program access to its information one line at a time. The comments tell me that the call to next skips a line. Since this file has 3 header lines, or lines that do not contain information that we need to read, we skip 3 lines. Now we get to a for each loop that looks familiar, but we have been using for loops with lists, not with CSV readers. However, the idea is the same. This for loop will loop through each row in the file, and one at a time, it will assign the row's information to the row variable so that we can access it in the body of the loop. Each time we go through the loop, row contains all of the information that was in one row of the CSV file as strings. To access an individual string, we can use row at 0, which is how I pronounce row square bracket 0 square bracket, to get the string that was stored in the first column of the CSV file, or row at 1 to get the string that was stored in the second column of the CSV file, etc. Now, we don't want to use strings to store all of our data in our program. We've already decided, when we designed the data definition, what type our data should be. So, if we're not storing a particular piece of data as a string, we need to convert the string to the appropriate data type. We call this parsing. We are reading the string and converting it to the appropriate kind of data. For example, we might read the string 100 with 100 in quotes and convert it to the integer 100. Or we might read the string 889.3 in quotes and convert it to the float 889.3. The course library contains the functions parseInt and parseFloat that you can use to parse ints and floats, but you may need to parse a value of another type. The next video will explain how to do that.